Well, hello and good morning, No Limits Living community. It's 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Alejandro Tornato here, coming directly from Beaufort, Georgia. And I cannot be more excited and happy and thrilled this morning because in this new edition of Conversations with Influencers, I am having such a super duper dynamic guest. And, I know him, okay? And I know that right now he's thinking, well, stop just talking and bring me in because he is a person who is not afraid of standing in front of a camera. If you know him every morning at 8 a.m., he is in front of the camera doing a great Facebook Live. And without any delay, let me bring my dear friend and colleague, Eric G Reid. And here he is. And Eric, it's so great and so good to connect with you via the power of technology. And, it's amazing because when I watch you every morning, you are on the left side and you are taking the prime role of connecting with people. And so just trying to feel in your shoes right now, I feel, I don't know, but I'm trying to do my best. Let's see, if it works, but it's great. And I want to welcome you and your willingness to be with me and with our community. So how are you doing this morning?
Thank you. It's a little weird being on this side. I'm used to being over there, but for some reason I can't get there. But I am excited to share this time with you and your no limit thinkers.
Excellent. Well, thank you. One of the things that I would like to talk to you about, and I would like to get into this conversation is that if anybody has been in a cave somewhere and is not knowing what is going on in the world, we are definitely living in unusual times. For some people, they're very challenging times. For some other people, they're extremely difficult times. But certainly, they are unusual times. I don't think that in my lifetime, I have gone through a period of time such as this one. Not even when we went through 9/11 and some of the other issues. I think that this is very unusual. And I know that one of the things that when these type of situations, when we are confronted with this type of situations, there is a lot of limitations that come into our lives. There are people who are just freaking out. Scared to death, and there are others. Who try to navigate. The issue the best they can. But, one of the things that has surprised me and impacted me the most is the fact that sometimes limitations come with bigger things. But in this case, it is an invisible virus, an invisible enemy that we can not see. And that is causing havoc and is causing a lot of limitations and limiting beliefs in what people can do and what is going to happen when this is all over. We are not going back to the normal kind of life. And how do we get over this? What are things that you have seen or that you have learned in order to don't let this situation really limit your life?
So I'm just going to say, stop blaming COVID-19 or the coronavirus. The difference right now is we have a unified excuse. You and I and other people can all say, oh, it's COVID that's stopping me from writing the book. Oh, it's COVID that's stopping me from having a great relationship. Oh, it's COVID from stopping me to get in shape or build my business or have the life that I want. The reality is, you were probably sliding, if not slipping, towards stopping before COVID. You just now have an excuse that's socially accepted. So that limiting belief of, oh, it's COVID's fault, you need to get real with yourself. Because I have seen people do tremendous things right now in the middle of COVID.
That's right. Yeah. And I think that the way that I look at things, and I'm sure that you're looking at them from the same vantage point, is that this is a situation with either we are making the most of it, because this could be, or it is, a golden opportunity to really flourish, to really let ideas that you have been keeping inside of you, let them birth out of you. And this is the environment that we need in order to do that. So why do you think that some people, or most people, they're letting these opportunities pass them by? Why don't they just go and capture these opportunities and make the most of them?
Well, before you can flourish, you kind of got to go through that filter. And in order to filter, you got to say, okay, what is really important? What is it that I really want? Before, we had all kinds of opportunities. We could keep ourselves distracted. We could stay in the job that we had because it was paying the bill. And at the end of the summer, we would figure out what. Now it's like, okay, what is it I really want my life to look like? And in that filtering becomes a lot of fear. What if I go after it and it doesn't happen? What if I go after it and I can't make it happen? What if I go after it and I just don't have what it takes? And as you teach, that's where that limited thinking comes in. When we get down to the real essence of what we want in life is often when the limiting thinking shows up the most, because we want it so badly that we fear it so much.
You know, it's very we're living in very uncertain times, because even though I was talking to some people a few days ago, and what is going to happen? People are so afraid right now, and I think that that's one thing that I've been telling everybody that I see, or everybody that I have a conversation with, is stop being connected so much to the TV and to negative news, because you are getting fed so much scarcity mentality, scary mentality. You are feeding your mind with thoughts that are, in a sense, bringing more limitations and more limits to your life, as opposed to just saying, hey, I can thrive in the midst of crisis. I can thrive. I can still be a gladiator in the arena, just fighting and conquering things. I cannot let external situations govern your own life and your own thinking. And I think that we need to start reading more things that are going to enhance our creativity and the desire to keep doing more, being more, and having more. But it's just that some people are very much connected to negative resources as to positive ones.
And I would have to challenge them, and I do often with my clients. I'll say, why are you connected? Like, if you're a diabetic and you know that eating sugar will kill you, why are you going down the candy aisle at the store? It's only going to cause you to weaken your resolve and to put yourself in danger. If you know right now that your dreams and your hopes and your desires are fragile because there's so much going on around you, why would you turn on the news? Why would you engage in conversations? Why would you take on those things that could kill your dreams, kill your hopes, put your limits back in place?
Yes, definitely. Now, let me ask you, because for those of you, who don't know Eric, Eric is a fantastic coach, a very successful coach. He's the owner of a Facebook page. It's called Your Success Life, and I encourage you, to go and take a look at it.
Join us.
That's right. But I think that it goes along this. Where did it start, your desire to talk so much about success? To encourage people on a successful pathway. And it's not, there's nothing wrong. I really, this is a great thing. To encourage people to be successful. To want more in their lives, to have better experiences. But where did it all start for you, as far as this theme, this overarching theme of a successful life?
It started really for me out of necessity, because I had been what I thought was successful. I was doing well in corporate. I was getting the jobs. I was getting the promotions. I was having the house and the car and everything. And then somebody would switch the definition and I'd go chase after that. And then somebody else would say, well, you're not successful because you don't have this or that. And so I'd go chase after that. And so I was constantly having to reinvent and restart my life. And I thought, as long as I, could occupy the corner office of the big company and people knew my name and I had money to spare, I was nailing it. And my son turned to me one day and basically started to ask a question, and then realized I wouldn't be available because I'd be off at work. And it was then that I'm like, wait a minute, this is not life. This is not life at all. And hence success life. In order to have a life of success, we've got to be able to master in the office and out of the office. We've got to have personal and professional development. We've got to see that our lives are not compartmentalized, but that they all work together. And so the more I leaned into it, the more I understood it, the more I worked with other people, I realized that I wasn't the only one trapped in this. Like, everything we had was invested into one small fraction of our life. And I said, this is not working. And so by pulling back and being able to say, how do I build a successful business and a successful family and a successful relationship and successful health? How do I put those skills that led me to the corner office to work in other areas of my life without losing success financially? Because there is nothing wrong with having financial prosperity and abundance. It allows me to serve more people. It allows me to be of value in a community or through my faith at a higher level and invest in those things that I dream about. And so how do I do it in a way that connects to not only my heart, but also to my head? And that's where Success Life and Success Life U comes from.
From your experience, then, can a person be successful. And when we talk about success or successful, what success perhaps means to me, it may not necessarily be the same definition for you or for everybody else. But is it possible, to be just successful in one area of your life and being completely unsuccessful everywhere else?
Yes, I am living proof. I am proof that you can do it really, really, really well and then really, really, really bad simultaneously. And that's why I really focus on telling people it's your success on your terms for your life. Because I grew up in a generation that it was like, get up, go to work, be the man of the house, bring home the paycheck. You don't need to worry about the kids and all, that really weird mentality that I thought was right. And you know what? There is a time in my life when that was good. Like, okay, I can do that. And then through life, maybe it changes for others like it did for me. I wanted to be a really successful dad, so to speak. I wanted to learn how to dad and dad kids that are young. And then, we can have success in multiple areas simultaneously, but we can also have failure in multiple areas. And so we are always working and manicuring and, doing the dance, so to speak.
Yeah, I think so. Now, do you think, and this is something that I've been thinking, especially this week, when I knew that we were going to have this conversation and that you are the person all about success, and I have been trying, to help people. And by the way, I just want to tell the ones who are watching now or the ones who will get the replay. Eric just recently, within the past few days or perhaps week, we had a conversation, a phone call conversation, and it was to me, it was a very enlightening conversation. And why was that? Is because I wanted to have Eric on conversations with influencers, and so I called him. And guess what? Just because he is, I think that knowing Eric, he coaches people even when he is fast asleep. That's
even without permission, I do. Yes.
Yeah, that's who he is. He's a coach when he is fully awake and when he's fully asleep. But I got him on the phone, and I said, yes, I would like, how about, if we do a Facebook Live? And the very first question that Eric asked me was, and what is your message? and that began, I have to be honest and very transparent and open and vulnerable. Guess what my response to him was? And I could not get the words out. And that's what a real coach does. A real coach doesn't give you the answer. A real coach keeps asking questions and keeps putting you in a very difficult position, a challenging position, but a position that there's going to be something is going to happen. Either you're going to say, I don't want to talk to you anymore, and you bang the phone down. That's one option.
That's happened.
And I didn't do that. And the other one is just to keep trying to answer the questions because you know that there's something that is going to be birthing out of that. And that's what happens. And so Eric helped me tremendously to go from generalities into very specifics. And that was what I am so thankful about that conversation. It was a game changer for me.
Thank
But
you. It was a lot of fun, and I so having been in the space of coaching and speaking and all of that, and I work with writers and especially people who want to write for influence. And I don't know, some people on the West Coast might say I'm very intuitive, but I often hear, like, I can hear something. And as the experience with you, it was like I hear something that you're not saying, but I know you're trying to, and we just kept going and going through that loop. And as I said earlier, we had to get to the filter.
That's right.
In order to get the focus to figure it out. And then all of a sudden it came, and I was like, how does this sound to you? And you were like, that's it. That, like, how, like, it's sort of like when you lose your car keys and somebody's like, they're right here. And it's like, how could you see them? I looked there 10 times before. Often that's what it's like when I have a consulting call with somebody who's trying to create a message, create a brand, create a voice, figure out like their spot. Sometimes it's just them talking it out loud long enough that I'm like, here's what I found. And so you played along beautifully. I have to say, it was a lot of fun for me as well. And it's what I love to do, because what I've seen is from that moment, you've been able to accelerate your influence. You've been able to target more directly into the people in the communities that you want to help.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean about having abundance and prosperity and being successful. Now that you're able to increase your success at delivering your message, you increase your influence. By increasing your influence, you're making a bigger impact in people's lives. Yeah. And they're rewarding you financially for it, so you can continue to do it and not have to go work at the local grocery store at night.
Yeah, no, that's true. But what I wanted to ask you, or your opinion, is, do you think that people who are striving to become or to experience a successful life, do you think that success brings about limitations? I mean, does success bring limitations, or success vanishes limitations from a person's life?
So we become more aware of resistance, but that doesn't mean limitations. It's sort of the same thing of going to the gym for the first time. If you walked over to the weight machine or over to the rack and picked up 100-pound weight and tried to do a curl, you would feel resistance.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that's the limit of your muscle. It simply means that you haven't quite achieved the skills and the resources to pull that 100. Now, in a year from now, with consistent work and effort and application, you could probably walk over and do that 100 without thinking about it. The limitation may have been like, I'll never be able to do that. And it's like, never? Well, okay, I can't do it right now. Okay, so the experience of resistance is not the same experience of limited thinking. Limited thinking says never, can't, won't, shouldn't, be able to, and we don't strive past it. When you're seeking success or mastery, you're like, okay, right now, I don't have the skill set, the resources, the talent, the knowledge, the whatever to push past this point. Where do I go get it? How do I go get it? What do I need to close the gap so that I can move towards that goal of 100?
Yes, and I think that when you look at people, there are people who are governed by what I call then impossibility thinking. I mean, that everything that happens, I mean, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, I don't have enough education, I don't have enough experience, I cannot, and everything is I cannot do. It's impossible. And there are others that switch that into an infinite possibility thinking. I mean, there's always, I mean, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. It's difficult, and I would find the resource to actually go ahead and do it. And that's what I think stops some people from pursuing their goals and their dreams, is that they're happily walking or driving along the highway. Okay, everything is hanky-dory, and all of a sudden there's a roadblock. Okay, all of a sudden there's that roadblock, and they have to stop. And when they stop, is that due to some magical event, they just said, okay, well, I cannot go any further. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go back, or I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to throw the towel. I mean, this is not for me. This is too difficult. I don't know how to get over that roadblock. But the ones that are actually, and that could be a limiting belief, and that could be a limitation that is put in front of you, and you cannot keep any further. But those that actually succeed in life are the ones that find a way around the roadblock. And they said, hey, I cannot let this virus, I cannot let this crisis stop my life and stop me from living an all freedom, limitless kind of life. So how do you view that? I mean, is that, are those two classes of people?
No, well, yes and no. I don't want to say classes, because that implies that they're stuck there. It's like gender, male or female.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We all have limiting beliefs in some area of our life, whether it's me trying to homeschool my kids, or somebody else when it comes to speaking and technology, or somebody else, with building a business. The thing that we need to adapt, and this is really a large part of lesson number 5 in the 12 principles of success, is where do we discover our personal power? What is our personal power? And then how do we develop that personal power? Because I can look at, I don't know, we'll pick Mark Zuckerberg. There is nothing that separates me from Mark Zuckerberg, except he had a belief system in a thing called Facebook that he pursued without thinking. There's nothing that separates any individual from any other individual except what's going on up in here. And so if we can reset this thing up in here and start to teach it how to be empowered, how to manage our life, and develop those principles of success, we're unstoppable. Is it a one-time fix? Oh, every morning I have to get up and retool myself for the day ahead.
Well, as a matter of fact, I watched today's your live. I mean, this morning, and I loved it because you talked about taking action steps. I mean, taking one step, and I think that. And the other thing that you said is that most people, they get overwhelmed because they're just starting to walk, okay? And they want to get to step 2,497,
Amen.
okay? And they want to get there. And just because they cannot get there, because they don't even know if there is a 2,497 step in front of them, that paralyzes them, and they don't want to take the next step, and it's all over. So I think that what you said is, hey, don't concentrate yourself looking so far ahead of you. Concentrate on what is your very next step, and take that step.
And that's a real critical part of success life. We're living a life of success. Success isn't an arrival point. It's not, I'll get to be corner office, 5-star, double diamond, whatever the award that you're after. Success is really about mastering the moment you're in, discovering it and mastering it. And so that step 2,496, I may not want that when I'm sitting at step number 200. I think of, when I travel and often I want to get to a destination, if I'm so focused on that, I miss the view out the window as I'm traveling. And there's so many great experiences between point A and point B that I have to slow down and really lean into. Or with parenting, there are moments I can't wait for my kids to get a little older and more independent. But then there are moments where I love the fact that they still need and want me.
There's as we talked about this subject, there's a quote that comes to mind, and it's by Eric Hoffer. And I'm sure that you heard this quote, and it says, Eric Hoffer says, in times of change, and we are going through times of change. I mean, in times of change, it is the learners who will inherit the earth or the future, while the learned are beautifully equipped to live in a world that no longer exists. Because the world keeps moving. It doesn't matter what happens, the world keeps moving. And if you do not move, if you don't keep learning and keep growing and keep thriving to get to the next level of your growth, of your awareness, of becoming the best version of yourself, then it's not that you are. Some people say, okay, if I do nothing, I'm going to be staying in the same place. No, that's not true. If you do nothing, you're going to start going backwards. As the world keeps moving forward, you're going backwards. And the gap between you and that new world is going to get larger and larger and larger. So, I think that one of the immunizations of having limiting beliefs or having limitations is, in my opinion, is maintaining the attitude of a student, of a learner, being a perpetual learner and never stop learning, because we are in a world that is so full of things and new things that up until the moment that you're put in a wood box horizontally and then they put the lid on top of you, there is always an opportunity to keep learning more and more, and to exercise a spirit and an attitude of an explorer. Keep exploration alive in your life. I mean, are you a perpetual student and learner and explorer?
Oh Lord, I'm an adventurer at heart. I mean, I love my poor children. Bless them and protect them. I'll say get in the car, and they'll say, "What are we doing?" I said, "We're just going on an adventure." And back when they were little, they would get in the car, and then about 2 hours in, they'd be like, "We're hungry. We need to go to the bathroom. We're bored." And I'm like, "We're almost there." Now at least they've learned to ask, "How long are we going, and do we need a snack?" Because they understand that I am always wanting to explore the world around me. Yeah. And that's not just in the physical sense. It's people. That's why I love doing what I do when I get to be on the other side and host people. Is I love exploring people's lives and their journey. That's why I love being an editor and working with creative people on their book, is because in that process, we're learning and we're discovering and creating. And as a coach, so I am always reaching out to see what's on the other side of something.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, because we never know what's on the other side of something if we are always staying on this side of something. So
the idea that I get to live one life is, it just doesn't fit for me. So I try and live through everyone, like by knowing you and experiencing your story and connecting with it. it's almost like I get a bonus life. And then the next person and the next person that I encounter, I get to hear about their journey and their lives and their perspective and everything they've gotten. And same with reading. And so I always feel like the more I can invest in knowing other people through their stories or conversations or whatever, it's almost like I'm living multiple lives. And that just energizes me.
I tell you one thing. I mean, it doesn't fail that in every conversation that I have with people, the topic of relationships and the topic of associations come into it, because we are, I mean, as Jim Rohn used to say, we are the average of the 5 people that we spend most of our time with. And people, your associations can either elevate you to the next level, okay, or they can really throw you down. I mean, and just live with them in worm life. I mean, as worms. I mean, close to the
I have been in the company of both, and I'm never sure which one I am when I come into the company of others.
But just recently, I don't know, perhaps a week and a half ago, I had, and I don't know if you know her, I mean, Mariana Thomas, in Conversations with Influencers, and she is a leader, and she's also a yoga instructor. And one of the things that she mentioned is that during this time, you know what this virus and this situation has been able to do on a global scale is it has awakened the consciousness of people as to that we are not really as separate one from another as we thought that we were before. And there's a consciousness and an awakening and an elevation of people's awareness that is very remarkable. And now, does that mean that we need this drastic crisis? I mean, every single day to cause that? No, but when we look at it from that perspective, is how thankful we should be that this is causing that positive thing to happen in the whole world. I mean, what is your opinion about that?
I think what we need to do, and I'm not blind to COVID-19 and its impact, but I think as individuals, as single organisms on the planet, we have to ask ourselves, why did it take COVID-19 for me to see this? Why did it take something so dramatic and so slicing into the center of my life before I realized what was important and what I wanted and how I could pursue my values? And why did I need to have such an awakening in such a dramatic way? And I'll say for most people, there has been a series of quiet alarm clocks in their personal life, whether it's been a health crisis, a relationship crisis, financial crisis. There's been little alarm clocks, and they've just kept hitting the snooze bar, hitting the snooze bar, hitting the snooze bar. And in this case, COVID-19 is a really big alarm, and the snooze bar can't be triggered maybe. So instead of becoming distracted by COVID-19 and by saying, oh, it's COVID-19 that did this and did that and changed my life and changed me, start to ask yourself, wait a minute, when COVID-19 goes away, am I going to go back to banging on the snooze bar? Or am I going to take advantage of my new awareness, my new awakening, my new perspective, and begin to move in a way with family, with my team, with my company, with my business? Because COVID-19 is going to go away. And there will be another crisis, whether it's a housing crisis, 9/11 type crisis, And there's going to be another one, and everybody's going to wake up one more time, and they're going to be like, oh, this is, and then they're going to go back to sleep, and they're going to wake up and go back to sleep. So what are you as the individual, the single organism willing to do? To like say, you know what? I'm not going back to sleep. I'm not hitting the snooze bar anymore.
Now, just to I guess to wrap this wonderful, conversation. I tell you, if it wasn't, and I want to be very respectful of your time, if we did not have that limitation of time, I could spend the next 24 hours talking with you, because there's always
hang out all day here, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But I know. Well, I don't have a crystal ball to predict what the future holds, and I don't think that you have a crystal ball. Perhaps you do. I don't know. But what do you think? And I heard it so many times that due to this, we are not going to get back to normal. The word normal is going to change to a new normal, an unknown normal, an uncertain normal, whatever that may be. But what do you think in your mind and in your experience, what can you predict that people, not things, but people, when all of this is behind us, would I be able to go and as a Hispanic, would I be able to go to a friend or to someone and says, I want to give you a hug, and would that be possible? Or we completely lost the ability to be a little bit more intimate with people, with friends and with people that even we meet for the very first time? What is going to happen?
Well, I think so. I do have a crystal ball. I do. So, but what I would be concerned about, so everybody's screaming, oh, I can't wait for the new normal. When's the new normal coming? What's the new normal? If you replace the word normal with average, because that's really what normal is, it's the average of the highs and the lows. Do you really want to be back in the average herd? Maybe if you stop looking for the new normal and said, you know what, this is my new normal. This is my new behavior. This is my new mindset, and fell into your purpose and fell into your passion and created your goals, you would know exactly what the future holds, because you wouldn't be subject to the societal, the communal, the herd thinking. You'd be like, I don't care if COVID sticks around for another 200 years. I know what I want to create in my life for myself, my family, my community, my faith. And nothing is going to interfere with that. Not Corona, not, 900 other things.
Yeah. Okay.
And what I'm seeing is the people who are connected to their purpose, and this is why I teach purpose so deeply, when they really get their purpose, when they know what that purpose is, they don't get distracted by circumstances and outside conditions and environmental things. They're able to say, you know what? I know what tomorrow looks like. I know what a year looks like. I know what 3 years out looks like, because I have a clear vision of who I am and what I'm creating. What I can tell you is, as COVID begins to fade, as things begin to settle down on the news media, a large percentage of people will go back to doing what they've always done, being who they always were, living life under the same limitations that they lived before. And then there will be the exceptional few who will say, never again, not me, not going back, not buying into that mindset, not buying into those beliefs. I'm opening myself up. I'm beginning to think limitless thinking, and I'm moving towards my vision and my purpose.
Yeah, I think that's that's something. It's new normal versus what each of us think that, and that's got to do with um, being transformed. I mean, a transformational kind of an attitude. And I think that the other thing is having the right attitude. I mean, is showing up and saying, hey, I can still make a difference, and I will continue to make a difference and influence other people, and add value to other people, and make an impact in other people. As far as it depends on me, I am going to do, and I will not follow the herd. I will not follow the masses. I just want, I'm going to be a purple cow. I'm going to be a colorful cow. I'm going to stand out from the masses, because guess what, Eric? And we all know it. If we follow the masses, what happens? We all fall into the ditch.
Well, so, and you have to, if you're going to accept, Alejandro, in the belief that limitless thinking is your right, and that you can create a limitless mindset, then you have to understand that not everybody is going to make that choice. Not everybody is going to make that decision.
That's right.
And that there's always going to be a group of them and us, or me and they. And just say, you know what? I'm not going to be loved and liked by everybody, but what I will be able to do is wake up every morning and go, you know what? I like me. I like who I am. I like what I'm doing. I like what I'm creating. I'm liking my life. For the first time ever, I'm liking me first. So what if not everybody is on board? I don't need them to be on board, because this is my chance. This is my life. This is my journey.
And even, I mean, just piggybacking on what you said, Eric, is I am now a firm believer that when we discovered truly who we are, and rather than trying to be somebody else, but we show up every single day being us, being ourselves. Be yourself, no matter with your strength, with your weaknesses, with your failures, with your mistakes, with your ugliness, with everything that comes in the bag. Just be yourself. Guess what? Some people think, well, if I am myself, no one is going to like me. Hey, hold on. We don't want everybody to like me. But if I show up as myself, the people who resonate with me are going to like me. And that's enough. I don't need 7 billion people to love me. I just want perhaps 3 billion people who love me.
Well, but you pointed out something that's really important. When we know who we are, when we understand our purpose.
That's right.
And people resonate with me, they're really finally resonating with me. Not with the image, not with the mask, not with the game, not with the thing that I've been putting on to be likable.
That's right.
You're actually getting to know who I am. And so that connection is so much deeper, so much real, so much thicker, that we don't need 3 billion. 1 or 2 really connected human beings in our lives are worth far more than a bunch of fake friends.
Exactly.
And that's really the whole purpose of discovering your blueprint for success is really, once you discover your purpose, you're like, you know what? I'm good with this. I'm good with this. And then you get to move forward with so much more confidence.
Yeah. You know, just the last thing that I would say is this. You know, right now with COVID-19, everybody is going and looking and trying to find a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I am suggesting is, if you want to be yourself, rather than putting a mask, remove the mask that you already have and show up without, maskless, who you are without a mask, without a facade, without anything, not even with makeup. I mean, just remove your makeup. I mean,
no, no.
Show up as yourself, because that is the message that would resonate, I mean, with others. And having said that, just to end it, I want you, if you would allow me, first of all, just share with me and with the community some final words of wisdom from Eric G Reid. And also, if you can let the community, I mean, if people want to reach out to you, how they would be able to do that. So if you got the final words, my friend.
Final words. Well, I'll start with the easy part and then go to the hard part. So to keep in touch and to find me, just go to successlifeu, and that's the letter u.com. While you're there, you can sign up for the free coaching tip that comes out once a week, and then check out coursework, and there's free resources and all kinds of things. So successlifeu.com. And if you need me, there's a connection page down below. So that was the easy part. So final words. I guess I really have to, as I say every day on my show, you're worthy. And what I mean by that is it took a long time for me to believe I was worthy of happiness. I was worthy of joy. I was worthy of the dreams that I kind of kept hidden in the corner of my heart, because people like me don't get to do things like that, et cetera, et cetera. And I always thought, you know what, it's just not my turn. It's not for me. I don't get to have it. I don't get to be it. I don't get to experience it. And then I sort of started to wake up, and it's like, well, why not me? And that was like the first thing. Why not me? And then it became more of a declaration of why not me? And now I realize that I'm worthy. I'm worthy of my dream. I'm worthy of my joy and my love and my happiness. My dad used to tell us, hush up, you're having too much fun in there. And now I say, you know what? I'm worthy of as much happiness as I want to take in a day. And so I really encourage everybody in your community, wake up every morning and tell yourself, I'm worthy. I'm worthy not only of the battles that it's going to take for me to go to the next level, but I'm worthy of the joy and the happiness and the love and the dreams that I'm pursuing. I'm worthy of it, and I'm not backing down.
And even I would add one more thing, if you allow me, is I am, and that's great, but I am worthy to live a limitless life.
I will take that and agree. I am worthy to live a life without limits.
Yes, every single day. Even if you, I mean, once you get up and go to the bathroom and stand in front of the mirror, just look at yourself and say, I am worthy to live today to the fullest of my ability. And I'm worthy to live limitless. Nothing will limit me, because I'm a spiritual being. I am limitless, and I will show the universe that I am that I can live that limitless. It's not just a belief, but is acting on that belief. So having said that, I tell you, I cannot tell you, I mean, how happy and how thankful and grateful I am that you have taken the time, I mean, to being with me and to really add value, not only to me, but to the people, I mean, who we are watching or who will watch this Facebook Live. It's my appreciation for you, and is great. Even is great to be neighbors. Live in the same state of Georgia.
Only what, like 10 minutes away from each other?
That's exactly right. But Eric, I know that you're busy. Thank you so very much. Thanks all of you. I mean, to the No Limits Living community. And let me just end by reminding you, as I always do, to live every moment, every single moment. Don't let it go by without living it fully. And also be resilient, okay? And be kind, be passionate, and be well. Thank you very much. Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay. Bye-bye.